Windows users often encounter confusing errors, and one of the most common yet mysterious ones is the extended attributes are inconsistent. In our previous video, we showed how to fix this error on Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 8, and Windows 7. Many of you successfully followed that step-by-step method and resolved the problem. However, a lot of viewers asked questions like, why does this happen? And how can I prevent this from happening again? That's exactly what we're going to cover today. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into Windows file system, NTFS, file attributes, and permissions, so you'll understand exactly why this error occurs and how to prevent it in the future. By the end of this video, you won't just be fixing errors. You'll gain a clear understanding of how Windows manages your files securely. If you've ever struggled with blocked apps or unexpected errors when opening programs, this video will give you the knowledge to prevent such issues permanently. It's important to note that the extended attributes are inconsistent error is most common in Windows 11 and Windows 10. It occurs when the system detects a conflict between the file's attributes and what Windows expects for proper execution. In Windows 8 and Windows 7, this error may appear occasionally, especially if NTFS attributes are corrupted or when running older installers. However, Windows XP usually does not display this exact error because its NTFS support and security checks were less strict, and similar issues would show different warning messages. Understanding this distinction is essential, as it ensures your troubleshooting is accurate and relevant to the version of Windows you are using. Every file in Windows carries attributes, which are extra bits of information that tell the system how the file can be used. Attributes help Windows manage files efficiently and safely. The most common attributes include read-only, which prevents accidental changes to a file, hidden, which keeps files invisible in File Explorer, system, which marks essential files that Windows protects, and archive, which indicates that the file is ready for backup. While these attributes are generally helpful, sometimes they can become corrupted or conflict with Windows expectations, especially when installing new software, running legacy apps, or modifying system files. Such conflicts can prevent applications from launching and trigger the extended attributes are inconsistent error. To understand why this happens, we need to look at the NTFS file system, which is used on most modern Windows PCs. NTFS, or New Technology File System, is responsible for managing permissions, ownership, and file security. Each file and folder on an NTFS partition has an owner and a set of access permissions that define who can read, write, or execute the file. For example, a user might have read and execute permissions but not write permissions, which means they can open the file but cannot modify it. If the ownership is incorrect or permissions are missing, Windows will block the file from running properly. These permission checks are part of Windows security architecture, designed to protect your system from malicious software or accidental changes. When there is a mismatch between the expected permissions and the actual permissions on a file, errors like the extended attributes error occur. Several factors can trigger this error. First, corrupted or conflicting file attributes can confuse Windows. This often happens when files are copied from other systems, downloaded from the internet, or modified incorrectly. Second, missing or incorrect permissions can block access. If your user account doesn't have the proper ownership or the necessary permissions, Windows will not allow the file to run. Third, user account control, UAC, restrictions can interfere, especially with older or unsigned apps. UAC is designed to protect your system from untrusted software, but sometimes it can block legitimate programs. Fourth, legacy applications or installers designed for older Windows versions may not comply with modern Windows security checks. Finally, running apps from untrusted sources or temporary folders can trigger the error because Windows treats these files as potentially unsafe. Even minor changes, like modifying a system sound, can sometimes trigger attribute mismatches, which explains why our previous fix worked so effectively. Understanding these causes allows us to prevent the error before it occurs. One of the first steps is to check file properties. Right-click the file, select Properties, and navigate to the Security tab. Here, you can see the file's owner and the permissions assigned to each user. Make sure your account has full control or at least read and execute. For legacy apps, Running the file as administrator can help bypass certain restrictions safely. Avoid manually changing system files unless you fully understand the risks, as incorrect modifications can lead to permanent errors or even system instability. Keeping your Windows installation updated is also crucial, as updates often fix NTFS, permissions, and system security issues that could trigger attribute errors. Proactively preventing future errors involves following a few simple steps. Always run apps from trusted sources and avoid downloading executables from unverified websites or email attachments. Check file properties and permissions before running new programs, especially older installers. Use Windows tools to monitor apps blocked by UAC or other security features, which helps you identify and resolve issues before they become errors. For important files, creating regular backups ensures that even if an error occurs, your data remains safe and recoverable. By understanding the combination of file attributes, NTFS permissions, and security measures, you gain control over your system and reduce the likelihood of encountering the extended attributes are inconsistent error. Let's look at a practical example. Suppose an application is blocked due to an attribute mismatch. Right-clicking the file and navigating to Properties, Security, Advanced allows you to verify the owner and permissions. If necessary, assign ownership to your user account and grant the required permissions. Once these adjustments are made, the application runs successfully. This demonstrates how understanding file attributes and permissions not only helps fix errors but also equips you to prevent similar issues in the future. By learning the technical reasons behind these errors, you are no longer reacting to problems blindly, you are proactively managing your system. In summary, today we learned what file attributes are, how NTFS and permissions work, why Windows might block a program due to mismatched attributes, and practical steps to check, fix, and prevent these errors. Remember, errors like the extended attributes are inconsistent are not random. They are Windows' way of protecting your system from misconfigurations or potential threats. By following the tips in this video, checking permissions, running apps from trusted sources, keeping Windows updated, and monitoring UAC blocks, you can greatly reduce the chances of encountering this error again. Which Windows version is actually best for most users today? For the majority of people, the best choice is Windows 11. Windows 11 offers the strongest security, the most stable NTFS handling, and the best compatibility with modern hardware and software. It includes smarter permission management, improved protection layers, and better performance optimizations. Yes, it may sometimes show strict errors like the extended attributes issue, but those checks exist to prevent deeper system damage. If your computer doesn't support Windows 11, then Windows 10 is still an excellent option. It remains stable, widely supported, and compatible with most applications. Older systems like Windows 7, 8, or XP may feel lighter or simpler, but they lack modern security protections and are no longer safe for everyday use, especially when connected to the internet. And this is the key lesson from today's video. Understanding how Windows handles file systems and permissions doesn't just help you fix one error. It teaches you how your operating system thinks. Once you understand that, troubleshooting becomes easier, smarter, and faster. So the next time you see an error message, instead of panicking, you'll know that Windows is trying to protect your system, and you'll understand exactly what's happening behind the scenes. And that's what turns a regular user into a power user. If this video helped you, make sure to like, comment your questions, and subscribe to TechGetter Official. Also, don't forget to check out our previous video on how to fix the extended attributes are inconsistent error, linked in the description. Watching both videos will not only help you fix the error but also understand the root causes, making your Windows experience smoother, safer, and much more efficient.